Hello and welcome to the second video for this Excel online course. In this video, we will work with some data that I have prepared here. Okay, so as you can see in our grid, we have information regarding several categories and we have some numbers. Okay, so this could be referred to a store that is specialized in electronics. Okay, and here we have three columns. The first column B is referred to the product. Okay, we have three different products. We have laptops, TVs, and cellular phones. Okay. In the second column, we have information regarding the units sold per month. And in the third column, that is column D, we have the price per unit. Okay. So here we know that we have sold 32 laptops and that the price per laptop is 500 euros. Okay. So this is a bit simplistic because I'm only considering three categories, okay, and I'm considering that the price is the same for all the laptops. But for this video, will help us on how to work and how to obtain some more valuable additional information. Okay, so suppose that once I have this information regarding this store, I want to compute here the turnover per month. Okay. So here, first thing I would consider is that as I've been using this format in these cells, I would like also to use the same format here. So if you remember from the previous video, we have an option that if I consider that this format, price per unit, the cell D3 is the one I want to apply to my new cell to turnover per month, I could click here on the brush, okay, and then copy the format and apply it to the new cell. So as you can see here, we obtain the same format, okay? And now let's go with the calculations. So here it is clear that if considering the category laptop, okay, if I have sold during the last month 32 laptops and the price per unit is 500 euros, I would need to multiply 32 by 500 to obtain the turnover per month in this single category. So I would introduce equal, and that would be equal to C4 multiplied by D4. Okay, so I would obtain here that a result that the turnover per month in the laptop category would be 16,000 euros. Okay, so next thing I could consider is just to here to use the same format. Okay, you know that all the numbers that I have here are just in the middle, in the center of the cell. So here I could also go to the ribbon, and here you can see that we can move, okay, the position of the figure I'm considering here. So I can move it to the left, to the right, or to the center. Okay, I could also repeat the same process. I could also use the brush icon, copy this format, okay, and use it here. Okay, it doesn't change because I have previously introduced the same format. Okay, so I would repeat this process for the rest of the categories. So here would be again C5 multiplied by D5, okay, and the next one would be C6 multiplied by D6, okay, and I could also copy here the format from those two cells, okay, to the new calculations I have already obtained. Okay, so here I have the turnover per month. Okay, what else could I obtain here? The total amount referred to the sales, that is the total turnover per month. Okay, so here I can introduce the sum of those three numbers. Okay, that would be E4 plus E5 plus E6. Okay, and that would be a total amount of 50,600 euros. That would be the total turnover for this store during 1 month. Okay, here I can center the figure I have obtained. Okay, and I would obtain the total turnover for 1 month. Okay, so now let's see that if you remember from the previous video, I could also obtain this figure using another process that is a shortcut that would help us to go a bit faster. Okay, so I delete what I have obtained and I could spot the cell E4, that is the first cell that I'm going to consider to compute the total turnover per month, and I can drag this cell, okay, until E7. Why? Because on cell E7, I would like to obtain the total turnover. So you remember, I go to the ribbon and here I have the sum operator. Okay, as you can see here, we have a dialog text, a small tiny dialog text that says sum. If I click here, I would obtain again the total turnover per month, but I have saved some time because it was not necessary for me to introduce again the formula. Okay, but let's see another shortcut that could help to work with Excel and also save a bit of time. I'm going to delete the result for TV and cellular phones. Okay, and just consider that I have introduced the formula for the first category for laptops. You can see here in the formula bar, I have equal to C4 multiplied by D4. Okay, it is not necessary for me to repeat this formula. What I could do is also to spot the cell E4 and instead of dragging down the cell from within the cell, from more or less the center of the cell, I could go to this corner on the bottom right. Okay, as you can see, okay, the cross, instead of being white, once I am here on this corner on the bottom right, it turns to black. Okay, so once it has turned to black, I left click on my mouse and I drag down two cells. So what I'm doing is repeating the same formula, okay, just to avoid introducing a formula every time I want to compute the turnover per month on each category. And think that this is a simplistic example, and if it was a real store, they would have more than three categories. They could have 1,000 categories, 2,000 categories. So it would be much easier, and we would save a lot of time if we directly use this method. Okay. So once we have obtained the total turnover month per category, okay, I'm going to copy the format. We could also compute the total turnover for the store with the sum operator. Okay, so well, now suppose that I want to compute the total amount of units sold per month, regardless of the price. So I'm interested only in knowing how many units I have sold. I could repeat this process, okay, and use again the sum operator, right? So here, okay, I know that I have sold 96 units, okay? But now consider that I want to to look for some more additional functions, okay? Because we have seen here that we have the sum operator, but now I want to introduce some additional functions, okay? And here I will delete the total turnover and I will click here on this insert function icon. Okay, so if I click here, a new window opens, okay, a formula builder, and I have the option to look for the formula I want to use. So in this case, I will say, okay, sum. So as you can see here, we have most recently used formulas, and here we have all formulas. So I want to sum the numbers that I'm working, okay, with. So I will insert the function and then Excel will ask for the cells I want to include in my calculation, okay. So you can see here, okay, it is suggesting me to start with the cell E4 and finish in the cell E6. That's precisely the three cells I have here, okay? It starts with E4 and it ends on E6. So if I click on done, okay, I will obtain the result here, okay? Now let's see another formula I could introduce, okay? I will delete the sum and suppose that here I have three different prices, but I want to compute the average price, okay, for my products. So if I want to obtain the average price, what I could do here is look for average. And here we have the most recently used average and all the average I could use uh, here, as you can see. So we will go directly into average. This average is an arithmetic mean. If you remember, an arithmetic mean is the sum of the three elements I have here, that is the sum of 500 plus 1000 plus 300, divided by the total number of elements. In that case, it would be divided by 3. So I will go with average and I will click on insert function, okay? So here, Excel will ask me again about the cells I want to consider. So in this case, Excel again is suggesting me to use D4 as the first cell and to start here and to finish with D6. So if I click on done, here I would obtain the average price, that is the sum of 500 plus 1000 and 300, that would be 1800 divided by 3 would be 600. So 600 would be the average price, okay, that I'm selling my products. That would be the average between the three different prices that I have in my electronics store. So now let's close the formula builder that I have obtained from the insert function icon, okay, and let's see here how I can work with, well, let's ignore this error, okay, because it is properly calculated. It's just another suggestion from Excel, okay. So let's see how I can also use the format in this case. We were talking about euros, okay. So here I have 500, but I don't have any unit that is telling me euros, okay. Let's go again to format, cells, and here I have all the options, okay. So remember that I'm on cell D4. So here I have an option that is currency, okay? And here it is suggesting me to use this sample, okay, that is 500 euros with cents, okay? So if I click on OK, it will change to euros, okay, and also with cents of euros. So I can apply these to all the data I have in these columns as I'm working with currency, in that case with euros. So I could proceed again and okay, use this for the price per unit, but I could also use this for the turnover. The turnover would be expressed in euros, right? So again, I can click on insert, excuse me, on format, cell, and then click on currency. So here it will be more accurate to the reality because here I'm already working with euros. Okay, so as you can see also with format, I can use several options with cells. I can even work with dates. Okay, I have different options with numbers, with counting, with percentages. So that's just for you to have an idea on how to work with this data. Okay, thanks for your attention, and that's all for this video.